Last time around, I was talking about DevOps and how DevOps could work with PaaS and sort of make organizations more agile. Now, I'm going to talk about what Red Hat is doing to make organizations more agile by providing a platform as a service offering that could help organizations embrace DevOps and maximize the benefits of it. OpenShift Enterprise is the platform as a service offered by Red Hat, and in this talk, I'm going to give a brief introduction to PaaS. There could be some people who didn't listen to my previous talk, so in order for them to appreciate platform as a service, I'll give a brief introduction to platform as a service, talk about the value it offers to IT, and then showcase two of our biggest customers on how they are using platform as a service, and then go into the internals of OpenShift and talk to you about the higher level architecture so that you can go back with a pretty good understanding of what OpenShift is. As I said before, platform as a service is an abstraction at a layer above infrastructure as a service. Infrastructure as a service automated the infrastructure layer and gave a self-service option to the IT admin. What do you do to automate the layer above infrastructure as a service? So that middleware, runtime, and some database services, all those things are automated. And developers get a self-service option so that they also enjoy the benefits of cloud, like how their counterparts in the operations side are doing. So in order to do that, you need to take the abstraction a notch higher and abstract away all the complexities that involves with managing and scaling middleware and other higher order layers. There is a sort of misunderstanding, I would say, within the industry about the role of PaaS and IaaS. Many people think PaaS and IaaS are competing with each other. Actually, that's a wrong way to look at it. Probably it was the case in the early days when there was only hosted offering. So that is the root cause of the confusion. But PaaS is a layer on top of infrastructure as a service, offering automation and elasticity to layers above infrastructure. So that is a key understanding which I want you to take home. And with PaaS, you push the code, deploy it, and voila, your users will benefit from your application or service you're building. So today's IT is under tremendous pressure because of the newer technologies that are coming in every day through the consumer side. Both the employees as well as the customers of enterprises demand support for newer services. So they are constantly bombarded with ways to give real-time contextual information and build newer features and deliver it fast. But with the traditional environment or with just infrastructure as a service plus additional scripts to automate at higher layers, the IT could not meet these demands. So they need to get some kind of standardized automation on the layers above and reduce the time to market drastically so that the business users are satisfied. This is where PaaS comes in. Let me try to put some context and give you how things worked in the past. In the traditional IT, when physical machines were there, you had to go through the entire list of processes on the left to go from an idea to production. You might have the budget, but still, to see it in reality, you need to go through the entire thing there. Then virtualization came in, did some level of abstraction, added some easy management features, and reduced the number of steps, but it was still too high. It still took a lot of time before your idea came into reality and before you could sort of meet the needs of your users. That's where PaaS comes in. PaaS cuts down drastically on the number of steps you need to take before you can take your idea to production. So if you have an idea, if you have budget, all you have to do is code and push the code to the platform as a service offering, and that's it. Your application is available for all your users. It automatically scales up and down based on the user demand. You don't have to worry about managing the resources. In fact, IT It adds a lot of efficiency to IT, and IT becomes a strategic partner. So there are 3 areas in which PaaS adds value. One is in terms of speed, the other one is efficiency, and third one is scale. So in today's globalized economy, scale is critical. So I will talk about it later. So the first thing is the speed. So platform as a service helps you take your idea to production much faster than any other environment you can have in your organization. So it helps you develop your apps and deploy it faster. So it increases, which means it increases the revenue, because once you open up the time, once you make extra time available for developers and IT operations, you could use the time to innovate more. So innovating more gives you more revenue, so you could make a lot more revenue. The other thing I highlighted even in the last talk was about the competitive issue. If you don't adopt the modern technology, and if you don't go to market faster, your competitor is anyhow going to do it. You are going to lose the market share because of that. So as the IDC analyst told in the morning, inaction is no excuse. You need to act. This becomes a competitive disadvantage issue if you don't act. And of course, it helps you meet the mission critical role. The key thing is efficiency. Infrastructure as a service converted CapEx into OpEx. So it also saves some money, but not much. But mostly it was a conversion from CapEx model to OpEx model. Whereas platform as a service, by offering much higher efficiencies, because with platform as a service, you use containers to package your app. You don't have to spin up a virtual machine for each instance of app you want to run. So you use containers and sort of package more applications into a single virtual machine. So you use the resources much more efficiently in a much more optimized way. So because of that, you save a lot of money, and you become much more efficient. And you also automate lots of operations tasks, which in the other case, which is IaaS plus, your operations team is responsible. So, and you also reduce the complexity and gives a simple standardized environment. And you give a self-service interface to your developers, much like the self-service interface operations teams get with the infrastructure as a service. And there is a talk in the media and other places that PaaS makes operations jobs go away. No, PaaS makes operations much more efficient. It is like in the early days you were writing bash scripts to do some of the operations tasks. Then Puppet and Chef came in and made you manage more servers than what you could do before. The same thing happens with PaaS. PaaS helps operations operate at a much higher scale because it automates away a lot of complexities. So operations, instead of getting their hands dirty, getting the thing infrastructure up and running, they become a strategic partner they become an enabler for all your innovation. The other advantage with PaaS is scalability. You need to scale. In today's globalized economy, with devices like mobile and sensors coming in, you need a much higher scale than what you had any time in the past. So PaaS enables that. It not only helps you in scaling the infrastructure, it helps you in scaling the applications. This is important. When you go around shopping for PaaS, make sure the PaaS platform you're considering allows you to scale applications and not just the infrastructure. There are many in the market who just do infrastructure scaling and claim that they scale applications. Yeah, in a way they scale applications, but that is not an efficient way to do it. So you need to make sure that the platform you are selecting is efficient in how it scales the application. And of course, it scales your workflows and processes. And with things like XPaaS, which Mike will be talking later, it sort of helps your business users take advantage of some of the underlying services much more easily. So I think I sort of conveyed the value offered by PaaS. Now I want to introduce OpenShift, which is PaaS by Red Hat. OpenShift is a multi-language polyglot platform. It supports many languages in a single platform. In the past, the developers learned 1 or 2 languages and sort of built their application using 1 or 2 languages. Now things are changing. The younger generation, which I call as YouTube generation, They learn more languages, and not only that, they want to adopt the newest languages, the language that is coming in the market. So the platform should be flexible enough to support multiple languages, and you should be easily add newer languages to your platform. So OpenShift is a polyglot platform. It enables auto-scaling. So when there is demand for your applications, newer instances of your applications are brought in automatically without any manual intervention, either by the developer or by the operations team. And it offers a self-service interface to the developer, and it comes from Red Hat. Red Hat has open source in the DNA. So OpenShift is open source like every other Red Hat product. So we have the entire source code available. Unlike some competitors in the market who claim that they are open source but add proprietary add-ons on top of it, we offer only open source. So everything offered by Red Hat is open source. So we are open source platform. And not every open source project is good for enterprise. So for enterprises to use open source, it needs to be validated and certified by a trusted open source vendor. Red Hat is that vendor. We make sure that OpenShift is ready for the enterprise. And more importantly, OpenShift is more secure than many other platforms in the market because it uses Red Hat Enterprise Linux, which is one of the most secure operating systems available. OpenShift is not only enterprise grade, it has really high levels of security, which make, especially this is important in the case of you having a multi-tenant environment. So you need to make sure that the apps are isolated and they are secure. So Red Hat Enterprise Linux offers that with the SC Linux, and OpenShift takes advantage of that. So OpenShift has won many awards, including Cody Awards, and in a recent Linux Foundation survey, developers overwhelmingly chose OpenShift as their application development platform over some of the competing platforms out there. And OpenShift has been, Red Hat has been part of the Gartner on-premise Magic Quadrant. We have OpenShift Enterprise for on-premise deployment, and we have a pretty strong JBoss portfolio that made Red Hat a leader in the Gartner Magic Quadrant. And interestingly, OpenShift is the only PaaS platform out there, which is also part of hosted PaaS Magic Quadrant by Gartner. So OpenShift Enterprise is part of Gartner's on-premise Magic Quadrant, and OpenShift Online, which is our hosted PaaS offering, is part of Gartner's hosted PaaS Magic Quadrant. So OpenShift has the distinction of being in both the Magic Quadrants. So I think now I've given a brief introduction to OpenShift. I need to first talk about how some of our big customers are deriving value from it before I dig deeper into the internals. Cisco, one of the leading network provider, is using OpenShift to meet the needs of their developers. Their developers need a automated platform with a self-service interface so that they could be much more productive. Cisco wanted to build a platform for developers. They evaluated many platforms and they went with OpenShift. They have a 5,000 strong developer base. It's a huge organization. And they run 15,000 JVMs, and we have one of the strongest Java EE support through JBoss EAP. So Cisco went with that. So the things they liked about OpenShift is that it is a pretty standardized stack which they can put on top of their infrastructure and get it working. And more importantly, when they tried it out, it just worked. They don't have to worry about it. It just worked. They were pretty surprised about it. And they are also pretty happy about the technical depth we have in Red Hat. So they were confident that they can get all the support they need to get going. The other big customer is FICO. It's a financial industry customer. They are really large. They have traditional software for financial industry. They wanted to SaaSify their applications. So they wanted a platform that could help them SaaSify their traditional software. They went with OpenShift. The interesting thing about this customer is that along with the SaaS application, they also wanted to ship an on-premise version of their offering. So they are bundling OpenShift with every single on-premise bundle. They are selling it to their customers. So this is a pretty interesting use case for us. And they liked it, some of the reasons they liked it is because since they are in the financial industry, they needed a secure operating system underneath. RHEL offers that. We have a pretty extensive feature set. And more interestingly, OpenShift is a beautifully architected platform. It is much more open than any of the platform out there in the industry. Usually PaaS, what it does is it asks developers to change the way they build applications to what the platform offers. OpenShift has an open architecture. So you don't have to, as a developer, you don't have to change how you build your application. Rather, you can customize the platform to meet your needs. So that way, OpenShift is pretty powerful, and they liked it, and it offers easy integration to other services and software. Now that I've sort of explained how our large customers are taking advantage of OpenShift, I think it's time to go a little deeper and look into the architecture. As I said, the idea of PaaS is to push the code into the platform and give your applications available to the users. So that's what OpenShift does. And OpenShift works on any infrastructure, whether it's physical machine or virtualized environment, private cloud, public cloud, you name it, OpenShift works. The reason is, OpenShift is built on top of Red Hat Enterprise Linux. Wherever you could run Red Hat Enterprise Linux, you could run OpenShift. So that way, OpenShift is a pretty flexible platform. In some of the platforms out there in the market, they also run on multiple infrastructure, but they expect you to put a virtualized layer on top of it to make it run on other infrastructure. Since OpenShift, the core of OpenShift is Red Hat Enterprise Linux, you don't have to have those extra overhead. You could just run OpenShift on any environment where RHEL can run. So that is the power of OpenShift. Now I'll talk about how OpenShift is built. OpenShift has two major components. One is called OpenShift Broker, which is like the brain for the platform. It orchestrates and manages nodes and takes care of applications. It's like how brain functions in the human body. Then the other one is OpenShift Nodes, where the OpenShift Nodes is where all your applications reside. A node is nothing but an instance of RHEL. So it's like a virtual machine. So you can put your applications into a node, and you could do it with with the containers, Linux containers that we call gears in the OpenShift platform. So with the Linux containers, you could build your application and run multiple applications within the same node. This is where platform offers efficiency to IT. Since you don't have to spin up an instance, separate virtual machine instance to have an additional instance of your application running, this makes your IT operations much more efficient and saves a lot of money for you, especially when you are a company at scale. You could package more applications within fewer number of resources, and you save a lot of money. And as I said, it offered, because we use containers to package our applications, and you can have multiple containers within a same node, it offers multi-tenancy. If you are an organization running multiple applications for your organization, you could do it in a multi-tenant fashion. And OpenShift, because of how EAP is built, even offers higher levels of density if you are a Java shop. So this is pretty important, and also it is secure because each application container runs a copy of RHEL, so it offers the pretty good isolation. Even if you are a service provider offering platform as a service to multiple customers, since it is based on RHEL, and RHEL uses SE Linux, it offers a pretty good isolation and makes your platform very secure. Now let's shift gears a little bit and look at it from a developer workflow. As a developer, you write code, so OpenShift creates a gear. A gear is the Linux container where your application resides. So your gears can be created using the web console or using REST API or using Eclipse, and you could write your code and push it to OpenShift. And of course, your applications will have dependencies. You could push the application code. What about the dependencies? It may need a middleware, application server. It may need some runtimes for some of the languages. So we use something called cartridges to add the dependencies to the application. You could easily add cartridges with few clicks, or you could do it programmatically. It's not just languages and runtimes. Even you can add database through cartridges. So it's pretty, as I said, it's a pretty open. It has an open architecture. So it's pretty extensible. You can customize the platform to meet the needs of your organization. You don't have to change the way you develop apps. So the cartridges is how we offer that extensibility. It's not just database and languages. You could add anything, any third-party services, anything through the cartridge. Suppose if you are developing a custom service for your organization and you want it to be called by the application, you could write a custom cartridge and push it. So it's a pretty flexible, open architecture that makes OpenShift the most powerful platform available in the market for developers. So we have cartridges, and these are some of the partners we have in the OpenShift ecosystem. The Hortonworks and OpenShift, we are working together to bring a Hadoop cartridge into the market. In the next version of OpenShift, we are moving to Docker for Linux container. Docker is the new standard that's emerging in the market. So we are partnering with Docker to bring that to OpenShift. And we are also partnering with Kubernetes to use, with Google to use Kubernetes, which is an orchestration engine for container, so that OpenShift always has the modern technologies available. And SAP has a cartridge for their database. Cisco is not just a customer, they are also a partner. They are using OpenShift on top of some of their offerings, and they sell it to their customers. Dell is a good customer. And Jelastic is a pretty interesting story. They are a competitor, but they like the power and the flexibility of cartridges so much, they wanted to change their platform and embrace the cartridge model. So so any cartridge that works on OpenShift should work in Jelastic. And similarly, any cartridge that works on Jelastic should work in OpenShift. That makes OpenShift a truly open platform. So if you develop an app on OpenShift, you could move to Jelastic. If you develop an app on Jelastic and you want a reliable partner like Red Hat, you could easily move to OpenShift. So that makes cartridge a standard in how you package application dependencies. So developers push their code via Git repository, and OpenShift creates a gear and brings in, you could add the necessary cartridges, and now the app is available to all your users. And when I spoke about DevOps, I identified the configuration management error as the key reason why there is mistrust between developers and operations. Since OpenShift is a PaaS, which offers a standard set of thing which you can deploy across multiple environments, you could use the OpenShift in development, testing, and production, and cut down on the configuration management errors that could creep in. This saves your resources for further innovation. This is very important, especially in the enterprise context. So having a standardized environment across all your teams makes your life easy, makes the life of developers easy, IT easy, and keeps your line of business very happy. OpenShift also offers automated scaling. So depending on the load that is coming in to a particular gear, OpenShift automatically creates additional gears, and if needed, it brings down the gears after a certain time of no usage. In fact, OpenShift has a superior model of idling, so you have much better resource efficiency with OpenShift. Essentially, OpenShift accelerates, as Mike said in his talk, OpenShift is about acceleration. So OpenShift helps IT accelerate service delivery and take advantage of what platform as a service offers for IT. And usually in enterprise, two of the major languages in use are Java and .NET. Of course, slowly Ruby, Python, and other things are coming up, but Java and Python and .NET are the two major languages. We have the world's best Java support through JBoss EAP. What about .NET? We thought about it. Red Hat is not a Windows shop. but we wanted to be more open and accommodative. We thought about it and went and worked with the partner to bring .NET onto OpenShift. So you could run both Java applications and .NET and manage it with a single interface. So that is the power of OpenShift. Application development and deployment is just one part of the story. You need to add higher order services to make it really enterprise grade and or enterprise worthy. So this is where our XPath comes in, and it's very, very important. OpenShift is the only platform out there that not only supports multiple infrastructure underneath, but supports wide variety of higher order services, thanks to the presence of a strong JBoss middleware group. So XPath is how you add higher order services to OpenShift and build a truly composable modern enterprise platform. The next speaker, Mike Peach, who is my colleague from US, he is going to go in more detail about how XPath comes on top of OpenShift and makes the life of enterprise even more easier. Thank you. If you have any questions, these are my coordinates. Feel free to contact anytime. Thank you very much.